Nigel Farage, last September you told GB News that it was a political impossibility to deport hundreds of thousands of people and that you simply couldn't do it. What has changed your mind that you now believe that you can?
The political impossibility was deporting millions and millions of people, and that's where the argument had gone. We had a situation, a political difficulty within Reform UK. This does happen to parties. They do have difficulties and problems. We had a problem that one of our MPs, who's no longer an MP, was talking about deporting entire communities, including people who've been born here. And frankly, we found that unacceptable. And so I just did not want, I think you can quote me for another interview, to get dragged down the route of mass deportation.
Nigel Farage has reignited the immigration debate by unveiling a radical 5-year plan to tackle the small boats crisis, while accusing Prime Minister Keir Starmer of quietly working with France. Under Farage's proposal, named Operation Restoring Justice, every migrant who arrives in the UK illegally would be detained and deported. Reform UK claims around 600,000 people could be removed over the next 5 years. To achieve this, the party would set aside £2 billion for return agreements with other countries, offering aid as an incentive and sanctions for those unwilling to cooperate. Farage argues that by ensuring nobody who crosses illegally can stay, the incentive will disappear and the boats will stop. But his most explosive claim is that Britain and France are effectively colluding in the crisis, despite £800 million already paid to Paris to prevent crossings. Farage says French naval vessels still escort boats to the 12-mile line, where Border Force takes over.
Smash the gangs was never, ever going to work. And even as we speak, despite the £800 million we've given the French, even as we speak, there are French naval vessels escorting these boats across to a 12-mile line where they'll be picked up by Border Force or our volunteers for the RNLI if it's a busy day and Border Force simply can't cope.
He even alleged French authorities hand out life jackets that are later recycled for future journeys. In his words, two governments are enabling criminal activity. The financial cost is staggering. Illegal migration is estimated to cost Britain around £7 billion annually, not including policing and court cases. Meanwhile, hotels house asylum seekers, while 1.3 million British citizens remain on social housing lists. Farage insists his plan would save tens of billions over the next decade. Public opinion seems to be on his side. A new YouGov poll shows 71% of Britons believe Starmer is handling migration badly, including 56% of Labour voters. Only 1% think he is doing very well. The big question now is whether Nigel Farage can turn bold rhetoric into real action, or whether Keir Starmer will find a way to regain control of the narrative before it's too late.